I really want to get people off of big pharma drugs. I realized I'd been lied to my entire life. Our media is feeding us a narrative, and I thought we were in the most free country in the world. I thought the only place that they hid information from their people were like North Korea. And even social media companies, Hollywood, etc., are all feeding us this same narrative. I believe the Lord led me to this mad scientist who's been working on quantum energy for 30 plus years. We worked with him and we created a multi-sensory solution to pain. I'm here to help people learn, protect themselves, and navigate what I call the medical cartel. Welcome back to the next episode of the I Am Pain-Free podcast. I am your host, Rob Rene, and it's an exciting one. We are on number 2. And as we discussed last episode, we are going to talk about me getting hit by truck number 2. So yes, was I not only hit by a physical truck like in the last episode, this truck is quite different. This truck is different because it literally is a truck that everybody has been hit with and that everyone has had to deal with. And this one is related to the pandemic. So the reason why I call it my truck number 2 is it really devastated my life. I lost my job. I lost my self-esteem during this period. And I want to talk to you about my journey for creating I Am Pain-Free and the podcast and all the things we're doing surrounding it. Because this period really shaped the man that I've become. And so I wanted to just frame it and walk through it with you so that you understand more about what we're trying to accomplish here, as well as a little bit more about who I am. Right. So I learned a valuable skill and lesson. I really have learned to think for myself. So in this world today, I've learned that is one of the most important skill sets that you can have. It's not to believe what your mother says, your brother says, the radio says, the television says. You need to start thinking for yourself and doing your own research. So that's all I will implore of you always. So don't believe everything I say. Don't believe everything my guests say. Start taking information and doing your own research, and you'll become a much better human by doing so. You're going to benefit, right? The passion I have for helping others is stemmed from this period of my life. I really want to get people off of big pharma drugs, right? I want to avoid them taking those medications that are destroying their body. So let's help people, right? I learned this very valuable skill of thinking for myself through this horrible process of learning about what Mockingbird media is. And if you go do research, go do some searches on a good search engine that will not hide information from you, and look for Mockingbird media. And what you're going to find there is going to surprise you. The more you dig into it and the layers of the onion that you peel open is really going to surprise you. After a period of time, I really felt like a death had happened in my family because it became so frustrating to me about all of the things that were going on. I realized I'd been lied to my entire life. Right? Our media is feeding us a narrative, and I thought we were in the most free country in the world. I thought the only place that you could that they hid information from their constituents and people were like North Korea. I thought we're in the United States of America. We have the best journalists. We have the best newspapers. We have the best everything, right? I was an athlete. I wanted to run for the United States of America. I wanted to compete in the Olympics. I wanted to represent our country. I loved our media. I loved our military, and I still do. But anyway, through this process, I discovered that there's a narrative, and even social media companies, Hollywood, etc., are all feeding us this same narrative. And you'll watch the news, and you'll see a narrative being placed. You'll listen to the radio, and that same narrative in a different way is being pitched to you. You look at your social media, and that same narrative is being pitched to you. So you hear it 3 or 4 times in different ways, and you automatically think it's true. where in actual fact, they are lying to you about a lot of things, which really frustrated me. So now I only do research by learning things for myself. And I want everybody, and I implore everybody to do that. Find good sources that you do trust and that you do believe. And you have to really dig in and find those because it's not easy to find. But the second thing that really frustrated me is the medical cartel is what I call it. And this really makes me mad in the respect that I wasn't going to say pisses me off, but I guess I can say that. It does. It pisses me off that if the discovery I made where our medical system was really taken over in the early 1900s. So if you go do research about this, you research the Rockefellers and you research the Flexner Report and what they did with that Flexner Report. Not all reports of the Flexner Report were bad, but the way they used the Flexner Report was really bad. In the respect, they ended up creating a new medical system where they were pitching it as good. Geez, have you heard that before? And then, but at the end of the day, they were only teaching petroleum-based pharmaceuticals as the solutions. So the medical systems and the medical schools, all things that they taught these people in the medical school were only around their petroleum-based pharmaceuticals. And guess who owned all the petroleum? So if you didn't go to one of their approved schools, you were ostracized. Back then, about 50% of all the doctors were holistic and all natural providers. And in fact, what happened is they were attacked with lawfare. They literally were sued because they were trying to help people naturally. And if you've heard the term quack, which I'm sure you have, that's where it came from. They called people quacks who were not providing health care the way that they were teaching. And it's really frustrating when you learn about things like that. And then you see the demise of holistic and all natural health practitioners even today, where there's a very small percentage of them are in practice today. And it's lots of people that are missing, and lots of people who are just being vilified, and people who just don't want to go down that route because they make it difficult for you. So that's really frustrating. Right now, it's less than 1% of the people that are trying to help us with what God gave us, our all natural and human ability, and all minerals and stuff that are on this earth are there to help us. So anyway, with this pandemic, I could see that they were also vilifying people, right? So I was like, wow, they're really going after these doctors who were trying to help people, right? And time after time, I just kept seeing these doctors were not saying the same thing as the narrative. And man, they were just being vilified. They were being canceled right and left. Man, you talk about vitamin D, boom, you're canceled. You talk about hydroxychloroquine, boom, you're canceled. You talk about ivermectin, boom, you're canceled. And it just became over and over and over and over and over again. And so then I started thinking, geez, maybe those things are good for you since they're so vilified. So I started doing research on all of that. And it was just off the charts bad about the censorship that was happening in our country. That really is frustrating. To really summarize it is with all that information and the unparalleled suppression of really good information, I started to try to figure out, okay, what can I do to help? Right, I'm just a man without a job right now. I was frustrated with what happened with my position. I'd lost it through the pandemic. I was a traveling salesperson and I couldn't travel right with it. So I started looking at my next steps. What am I going to do? So I started doing all this research, and geez, I'm like, well, I know. I did a personal inventory. I said, I know lots of things, all right? I know early on from how what I bring into my body, it fuels my body. And I knew how to deal with pain, right? I'd been in pain a lot throughout my young life. And I'm just like, well, shoot, let's start doing some research. I did some research, and oh my gosh, the number of people that are dealing with chronic pain in this country, in the world, is astronomical. It's like over 50% of seniors have the claim they have chronic pain. And so that's really bad. And then my brother, I think I mentioned in the last episode, had a friend who committed suicide through the opioid epidemic, and started researching the opioid epidemic. And oh my gosh, that's really bad. And what's happening with those drugs are super bad. And then my brother ended up having another friend of his commit suicide after the pharmacist friend did. So, and then as we did research on it, the average senior's taking 15 different medications in a year, prescription medications. And then we even make that worse when we went and visited a nursing home, the nursing home director said that the average person at their facility is on 12 different medications on a daily basis. So I was like, whoa, this is bad, right? So how can we help people? That was my goal. It's like, okay, I've got a huge heart for people. I want to help them get off of big pharma drugs. I know pain, right? And so what can I do, Lord? We kept praying. I'm like, what can I do to help? How can I help people? I really had to do something. And I believe the Lord led me to this mad scientist who's been working on quantum energy for 30 plus years, right? He created a pain relief product with quantum energy and frequencies and positive intentions. And what we did, we worked with him and we created a multi-sensory solution to pain. So you use your eyes, you use your ears, you use your mouth to declare it, and you use these positive intentions, and then you use the patch, and the patch connects to the energy system in your body. And we'll go into detail on this solution later, but that's not the point. The point is we created an amazing solution that's helping people get off of big pharma drugs. So I ended up wanting to take this product out to the world. So I founded a company called QE Strong. And that's exactly what we're doing. We're taking that product out to the world, and we're going to help a lot of people through that process. It's going to be a lot of fun, but that's not all, right? The reason I am doing the I Am Pain Free podcast is I want to do more, right? That's what we're here. That's why you're listening to this podcast. We have people in pain everywhere, and I'm on a mission to help people naturally and faithfully. And I want them to relieve their pain, whether it be spiritual or physical. And we'll be interviewing tons of experts. We're going to be finding about new and innovative solutions. If it's related to pain, we're going to dig into it. We'll be educating all of you on all these solutions, right? And how you can help them and how you can bring your body into balance, like we discussed in episode 1, right? The toxicity in your body is really what's causing a lot of the inflammation in people. And so if we can work on the core and get our bodies in balance, we can heal a lot of that chronic pain. And so we're going to be doing that. We're going to just dig in. And so in summary, I'm here to help people learn, protect themselves, and navigate what I call the medical cartel. Probably not going to give me a lot of friends, but hey, I'm here to help people. We want to get our bodies balanced so that we can function and heal the way God intended it. That's our mission. And so again, here's the fun part. If you enjoyed this episode, you might be expecting a sales pitch for a pain relief solution, but here's a pleasant surprise. I'm offering a 3-episode pop-up podcast absolutely free. This exclusive 3-episode private podcast series packed with more value than many paid programs out there. And getting access is a breeze, right? If you're listening to your phone, just simply open up your text messaging app and send pain-free, all one word, to 41-PAIN-FREE. That's 417-246-3733. Now again, that's 417-246-3733. If you're not a fan of texting, no problem, right? Just visit impainfree.com, simple place, and you can access this private podcast series instantly. Just look for that private podcast there. And this isn't just any podcast, right? We call it Beyond Pain, the Triple B Blueprint for a pain-free existence. It's a treasure trove of secrets, expert interviews, and a resource vault, all aimed at guiding you to live a pain-free life naturally and faithfully. It's rare and value-packed resources that we're thrilled to share with you. So don't wait. Text pain-free to 417-246-3733 or visit I Am Pain-Free to unlock this exclusive content just for you. All right, and join us on a journey to a pain-free life naturally and faithfully, all completely free just for you.